Hey everyone, welcome back to Sacred Cards. Today I'm going to share with you my Rikka Sunavalon deck profile. This is a deck I've actually been working on for a long time now, and I finally have the cards and ratios just the way I want them. I love the Rikka archetype as a whole, and it has some great plant support to make some very cool combos. I'm happy with the consistency and the build right now, so I'm very excited to share this with you. Please be sure to check out the other deck profiles and content on my channel. We've only been around for 3 months and we're almost at 100 subscribers. I'd like to say thank you to the amazing community for all the love and support, so give the video a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Well, with all that said, I'll go through my deck list and try and explain the cards as best I can. Let's get into the deck profile. Starting things off with the Rikka monsters, I play 3 copies of Rikka Princess. You can special summon this card from your hand, but while it is face up on the field, it does lock you into plants. Also, when your opponent activates a monster effect while you control a Rikka monster, quick effect, you can shuffle this card from your hand or graveyard into the deck, tribute a plant to negate that effect. For one of your best starters, I play 2 copies of Rikka Petal. This card lets you take a Rikka monster from the deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. This effect does also lock you into plants, so just something to keep in mind. But during the opponent's end phase, you can special summon this card if you control no monsters or only plants. Next up, I play 2 copies of Mudon, the Rikka Fairy. If this card is in your hand, you contribute a plant monster to special summon itself. Then you get to add 1 Rikka spell or trap from your deck to your hand. This is great for accessing your copies of Glamour, Concon, or Rikka Sheet. For the last 2 Rikka extenders, I play 1 copy of Primula, the Rikka Fairy, and 1 copy of Snowdrop. Primula can special summon itself from the hand in defense position if a monster you control is tributed. Also, she can target up to 2 plant monsters and increase their levels by 2. Snowdrop can tribute a plant monster to special summon herself and another plant from the hand. She also has the ability to target any plant on the field, including herself, to make all the levels of the monsters you control equal to the selected monster, which is perfect for making your Xyz plays. Now that's it for the Rikka monsters. Now for the Sunavalon archetype, we play 3 copies of Sunsea Genius Loci. This normal monster is your main 1-card combo starter. The idea is that this little seed can bloom into some very powerful boards and make some incredible plant monsters that create disruptions for your opponent. Next, I run 1 copy of Sunsea Twin. If this card is normal or special summoned while you control a Sunavalon Link monster, you can special summon your copy of Loci from the graveyard. It also has the effect that you can banish this card and 1 Link monster you control. If you have 2 or more plant Link monsters with the same name in the graveyard, you can special summon 1 of them. Next, for consistency, I play 2 copies of Lonefire Blossom. Pretty straightforward. This card lets you tribute any plant monster, including itself, to special summon any plant monster from your deck. I think for this deck, 2 copies is just the right amount. Next up is a Therion package, starting with 3 copies of Therion Lily Borea. This card lets you target a Therion monster or 1 plant in the graveyard to special summon this card, then equip the targeted monster. Its second effect lets you send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard to add a Therion spell or trap from your deck. Also, if a Therion monster is equipped with this card, it gains 700 attack and can activate the second effect listed as if it were a copy of Lily Borea. The main target for Lily is 1 copy of Therion King Regulus. This guy lets you target a Therian monster or machine in the graveyard, special summon this card, and equip the monster you selected. Its second effect is when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, send one Therian monster from your hand or field to negate that effect. Also, like Lilyboria, a Therian monster equipped with this card gains 700 attack and can activate this card's second effect as if it were a copy of King Regulus. Next up, for some interruptions, I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. One of the best all-around hand traps and great for negating card advantage by your opponent. And the last monster we play in the main deck is 1 copy of Gameciel, the Sea Turtle Kaiju. This is good for getting rid of problematic monsters on your opponent's field. It's also water and a level 8, which will make more sense when we get into the spell cards. That is it for the monster lineup. Now on to the spells, starting off with... Oops. Wrong order of deck profile here. 1 copy of Therian Discoliseum. This field spell lets you add a Therian monster from your deck to your hand. It also has the effect that once per turn, if your monster would be destroyed by battle, you can send a Therian card from your deck to the graveyard instead. Also, once per turn, when a monster is destroyed by battle, you can target a Therian monster in your graveyard and recycle it back to your hand. Now for your Rikka Searcher, I play 3 copies of Rikka Glamour. When this card is activated, you have the option to tribute a plant monster. Add a Rikka monster from your deck to your hand, but if you tributed a monster, you can add another plant monster with the same level as the card you added. Next is one of my favorite cards in the deck, 2 copies of Rikka Concon. This field spell has the effect that if you control a Rikka monster, you can set 1 Rikka spell or trap directly from your deck. It also has the ability that once per turn, if you would tribute a plant monster, if you would tribute a plant to activate a Rikka card or effect, you can tribute a monster your opponent controls instead. It's really nice when your opponent can pay costs for your card's effect. Next up, I play 2 copies of Sunvine Sowing. This card lets you special summon a Sunseed monster from your deck, and if you do, take 1000 damage. If you don't have a Sun Avalon Link monster, you can only summon Loci, but that's just fine. Plus, if your plant Link monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. Moving on, one of the best ways to get to your seed, 3 copies of Unexpected Die. Very simple. If you control no monsters, special summon a level 4 or lower normal monster from the deck. Very good for consistency and recovery. For more consistency, I play 3 copies of Small World. For those of you who don't know, Small World lets you reveal a monster in your hand, then choose a monster from your deck that is exactly one of the same type, attribute, level, attack, or defense. Banish the revealed monster from your hand face down. Then add from your deck to your hand 1 monster that has exactly one of the same type, attribute, level, attack, or defense as the chosen monster from deck. Then banish the card chosen from your deck. It helps you to thin out your deck for things you don't need and get to the cards you do need to see. Very good card for this deck. Next, for some more interruptions, I play 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. This quick play spell lets you send any number of cards from your hand or field to the graveyard to negate the effects and have the attack of the same number of monsters your opponent controls. Your opponent cannot activate cards in response with the same type, monster, spell, or trap as the cards you sent to the graveyard. Just a great card all around. Next, I play 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. If your opponent has activated a monster effect during your main phase, you can either draw 2 cards, take control of one of their monsters, or look at their hand and shuffle 1 card back into the deck. Rounding off the spells, I play 1 copy of Called by the Grave and 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. Called by the Grave is just a good card to stop your opponent's hand traps, or the repeat offenders with copies in their graveyard. Feather Duster is here to help deal with your opponent's back row, just to counter some of the weaknesses this deck might have. We have many ways of dealing with monsters, but not so much spells and traps. And for the last Lonely Trap, I play 1 copy of Rikka Sunavalon. Another great disruption, especially when paired with Con. Target a monster your opponent controls. You have the option to tribute a plant monster. Your opponent can't activate that monster's effects this turn, but if you tributed a plant monster, you can take control of it until the end phase, and if you do, it becomes a plant until the end phase. Well, that is it for the main deck. Now, moving on to the extra deck. Starting things off with our Link monsters. 3 copies of Sunavalon Dryas. If you link summon this card to the extra monster zone using your copy of Loci as material, you can add a Sunvine spell or trap from your deck to your hand. This card can't be targeted for attacks. Also, once per turn, if you would take battle damage or effect damage, you gain that much life points instead, and if you do, special summon a Sunvine monster from the extra deck. Next up is 2 copies of Sunvine Healer and 1 copy of Sunvine Thrasher. Healer has the effect that if a Sunavalon Link monster would leave the field by card effect, destroy this card. Also, if this card is special summoned, target a Sunavalon Link monster on the field and gain life points equal to its Link rating times 300. And if your plant Link monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you gain 600 life points. Thrasher has the same effect as Healer, that if a Sunavalon Link monster leaves the field by card effect, destroy this card. But if this card is special summoned, target a Sunavalon Link monster on the field. This card gains attack equal to its Link rating times 800. Also, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon that monster to a zone your Link monster points to, but negate its effects. Now, an essential part of your main combo is 2 copies of Aromatherapy Jasmine. And I also play 1 copy of Sylvan Dance Peony. Jasmine has the effect that if your life points are higher than your opponent, this card and any monster it points to can't be destroyed by battle. You can tribute a monster it points to and special summon a plant from your deck in defense position. Also, once per turn, if you gain life points, you can add any plant monster from your deck to your hand. Dance Peony, when it is link summoned, choose a number from 1 to 3, excavate that many cards from your deck, then special summon up to 2 plant monsters and send the rest to the graveyard. You can also target a plant monster with a level in your graveyard, then the level of the monsters this card points to become that level till the end of the turn. Just another way to go into your Xyz place. For the last 2 Link monsters, I play 1 copy of Sunavalon Melias and 1 copy of Bengalancer the Resurgent. Melias is great because when it is Link summoned, you can special summon Sunseed Genius Loci from the graveyard. This card also can't be targeted for attacks, and once per turn, you can target a Sunvine Link monster that this card points to. It can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of Sunavalon Link monsters you control. Bengalancer is a great boss monster for the deck. It has the ability that during the main phase, quick effect, target an effect monster your opponent controls, take damage equal to its attack, then return that monster to the hand. If this card is in your graveyard, banish 2 or more Link monsters to equal 4. Special summon this card, but you have to banish it next time it leaves the field. That's it for the Link monsters. Now for the Xyz, I play 2 copies of Rikka Queen Strenna. I love this card so much. You can detach a material from this card, target a plant or Rikka in the graveyard, and add it to your hand. It also has the amazing effect that if it is tributed with Xyz material, special summon a rank 5 or higher plant Xyz monster from the extra deck and attach this card to it as material. This is great for summoning the next two cards, which is one copy of Teardrop the Rikka Queen and one copy of Sacred Tree Beast. Teardrop can detach a material to target a monster on the field tributing. This is a quick effect if this card has a plant as material. Also, each time a monster is tributed, she gains 200 attack for each until the end of the turn. Sacred Tree Beast has a few great effects. During your turn, when you activate a card or effect, quick effect, target one of the same type in your graveyard, monster, spell, or trap, and attach it to this card as material. This gives the card ammo for its other effect, which is during your opponent's turn. When a card or effect is activated, quick effect, detach a material of the same type, monster, spell, or trap, and if you do, negate the activation and destroy it. Well, that is it for the deck profile. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If there's anything you like or don't like, feel free to leave me a comment telling me what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you did and subscribe for more content. See you all in the next one.